Alright, today we're going kayaking, and if you can see that, it says Huntsville State Park. Very pretty park. Give you a look around. And this is the kayak. I'm taking the kayak that I built Diana today out. And that's what it looks like. Alright, let's get started. Quite a long drive through the woods to get back here, but just about there. I figured I'd show you what it looks like through the windshield. This is where you check in at the park. Folks, there are alligators in this lake, and this is a big one. I don't know if this is out of this lake or not, but you get the idea. So you're starting to be able to see the lake out there. That's what it still looks like. We're driving through the woods. All right, so we're getting ready to put in, get the boat uncovered. That's what it looks like. I put my gear down in the wet bag. It's my wallet, my phone, and my keys. Okay, let's take it all down. Okay. And this is how you get into a kayak. So you put the paddle up in the front of the bow like that. You get one foot in and you sit down. And try not to scrape the bottom on the cement at the dock. Make sure the footrests are in the right spot. They're down under there. This one's a little bit close. Okay, let's go. So today I'm trying out my wrist. I tore something in my right wrist out dirt biking about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's getting stronger, but I wanted to try kayaking because I like kayaking in the summertime. Yeah, I can feel it putting a little strain on that wrist, but it's not too bad. I won't spend too much time out here today, maybe an hour. Start building that muscle up in there, and those tendons. You know, the only people that don't get hurt are the people that don't do anything. Especially when you get older, so. There's alligators in this lake. It's just a matter of how big are they. And they keep track of them. They patrol the shores all the way around the perimeter every morning and every evening to keep track of how big they are. And they try to keep the big ones out of here because they have a swimming area, and they had a couple of big ones get in there a few years ago. And you know, they scared the swimmers, of course. They made the newspaper, and let's go over here. There's a bird fishing. See him? He's underwater now. Sometimes they go under for quite a long time. There he is. And he spotted me, so he's taken off. I like these wooden kayaks because they just keep gliding when you stop paddling, and so you can take breaks and keep making progress where you want to go. The plastic ones seem to have a lot of drag on them, so they don't really do that. The cheap plastic ones. They're not cheap anymore, but and my wrist is actually feeling a little better. Might be that this exercise is good for it. You can see the grass underneath us, under the water. See how close it is to the ground, to us? I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll tell when I get home and look at the video. There we go. See all the turtles up here? They're gonna jump in the water when they see me. Except that one, he must be deaf. Look at him. He's just brave as can be. All the other ones jumped in the water. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put my suntan lotion on, and I get burned fairly easy. Put a little more on down here. Yeah, pretty white. Beginning of the summer. Actually, it's not even summer yet, so. Get a little on the hands. That's a little bit more than a little. Put that on my back. Get a little on my other hand and then put some on my face too. One thing living where the sun's hot, I mean kind of closer to the equator here in Texas. If you want to spend days outside, start when you're young. Apply suntan lotion whenever you go out, and then when you're older, you won't have a problem with skin cancers that have to continually get burned off. Let's take a look inshore here a little bit and see what that is. Shining there. Oh, it's a bottle upside down. You don't see much trash on this lake. Very much trash on this lake. They keep it fairly clean, and people that come up here are kind of consistently picking up after themselves, which is nice. That's what we're going over. That's only about an inch below the surface. The kayak only drafts about an inch and a half, so it's not too bad. So on the weekends, you see people fishing off of these little piers that they made here. They're like mini piers. They're well built though. Not anything like the ones that my niece Wendy, who's actually only a couple years younger than me, Her husband goes around the country and builds some big concrete things, look like bridges. They integrate wood decking with them. They're really impressive. We'll drift for a little bit, see if we can see something. I heard something jumping in the water back there. More than likely it's a turtle, but I've been doing this for a while, and sometimes you hear a big splash and it's an alligator slipping down off the shore into the water. See that bird over there? Let me see if I can point us over that way. I'm not going to startle him because he just seems like he's just chilling. He's doing the same thing we are. He's having a good day out on the water. I'm not going to get any nearer. I don't want to bother him too much. Oh, there he goes. Today's Thursday. You're wondering what I'm doing out in the lake today? I retired 4 years ago. I had a couple of health issues, and it just seemed like with the advice people were giving me and doctors and stuff, it just seemed like the thing to do was to retire early. And we were fortunate enough that, you know, with the company pension and the savings that we had, that and everything we owned was paid off, so we're very fortunate in that way. So I try to get exercise and on a regular basis, and this is one of those things. Exercise for the upper body. I don't know if you can see all those turtles over there on that log. You don't see that too much in the northern states, but down here in Louisiana and Texas and around these areas you see it a lot. There's got to be 5 of them there. We'll get in front of them. See one of them sticking his head out. Yeah, there's only a couple of them there. 1 of them, 2 jumped in the water now. Anyway, sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have the camera pointing to them. Right there's a bird in the shade, just relaxing. What I think we'll do, we'll give you a view of that. Those turtles. There you go. There they are. There's 2 of them sitting side by side. And they got their heads out saying, wondering if we're going to come closer, and if we do, they're going to jump off. So we'll just back up. It's probably 80 degrees. The humidity is only about 50%. which is good here. It gets up in the 90% in the summertime. So let's back up. That bird's thinking about taking off, and I don't want to chase it out of its fun. Nice perch there under the shade. It's a beautiful time of year. The trees' leaves are still a light green color. The pine trees are already dark, but they're like that year-round. Everything's coming to life. Let's go see what else there is to look at. Let's go look at the lily pads there. I don't know if they're real lily pads, but they're leaves that are floating on the water and plants that grow in the water. I'm going way out away from shore because there's a big crane there that I'm bothering, so I don't want to chase it out of the shade there. It's having a good morning, enjoying the breeze. Let's go see what's in this cove. This reminds me in a little bit of the reservoir that was near Keystone Lake when I grew up. Terry and I went fishing there a few times. They had turtles and they had some good sized fish in there. One trick with kayaking is if you're getting blown to one side or the other and your nose keeps getting blown over, you can put a little more length on the opposite side, and that'll give you a little bit more push on that side. So right now I've got, you can see, I've got a little bit more length on the left side than the right side. Lots of little tricks with the paddles. That tree is full of birds, and they're fighting up in the top. A couple of them are, you can hear them. Either that or they're mating. I don't know how birds mate, but they reproduce. Let's see if you can get a picture of that. It's hard to see those birds at the top. They're on the other side of those branches that are in the way. Well, let's not bother them too much. Let's go. Keep going down the shore here. See that gray bird up there? I assume that's a male. Because with a lot of birds, the pretty ones are the females, just like humans. Ooh, there was a big fish just jumped in front of us. I don't want to lean too far. Yeah, it must be a male. He's standing his ground. Maybe protecting his territory. I don't know. Birds have territories, but so there's a spillway up ahead. And they normally have it have some floaty kind of barrier so you can't get too close to it. But they said that that alligator skull that they had in there, that was a good size alligator. It was from the Trinity River. But they said they had one that got close to that size in here, that they had a name for it and everything, and they were going to rehome it to a habitat for alligators. But they found it had gone over the edge of the spillway up here and it didn't survive. So I don't think the spillway's that high, but something happened to hurt it. It was probably fairly old. It was that big. Didn't have Medicare. It's a joke. So it's been raining every week. It's been raining here at least 1 or 2 days, and so you can hear the waters going over the spillway today. So upstream of here, the rivers are full enough to wash over the spillway. All right. I can hear it really good, the spillway. I don't know if you can hear it. It's right over there. I'm not going very close to it. All right, let's see if we can get this on a selfie a little bit. So there we are. I haven't put the handle on yet. It's a good day to be on the water. Get your view down a little bit because I'm leaning back a little. What is that there? A couple birds just sitting next to each other. See if I'll come around here and get you a better view. I just don't want to scare them. I don't know what they are. One's pretty and one's dingy color. So it's that season of the year. It's like watching a movie to them. Let's go watch the lake. I knew there was something over there, I just didn't see it. That bird right in front of that tree trunk. I think that's called a crane. I don't know my seabirds all that well. One of my favorite things is being out in the forest or on the lake. I'm just listening to all the birds and animals. When I'm riding the dirt bike, I can see animal tracks on the trails a lot of times. One time, it was a Labrador running through the forest. He didn't have a collar on or anything. And he was in front of me, and he wouldn't get off the trail, so it was hot too, so I had to take a break when I didn't want to take a break, to give the dog a break. And so he wanted to be the leader of the pack. I think it was a she, but she wanted to lead me out of there, I guess. I don't know. But she went on for quite a long time, and then eventually, you know, I could tell when I stopped, she was exhausted. So I just sat there for 15 minutes. But I don't remember what happened. I eventually turned off just to give that dog a break. Probably somebody owned by somebody that lives near the forest or in the forest. There are a few homes in the forest. from before they declared it a forest. Let's see what this is floating down here. Looks like just a leaf. Yep, just a leaf. Do y'all remember the smell of copper tone suntan lotion? That's what I have on. Because of times like this, I've grown to the point where if I had a candle at home that had copper tone smell, I'd probably use it. Because it just reminds me of these kind of days. Copper tone has its own smell. None of the other ones have that. Time is it? 12:30. That's not too bad. I think we can keep on going. But I do think it's time for some water for me. All right. When I was younger, I used to go out and lay on my back at nighttime on the ground and look up at the stars. and think things like, man, I wonder how big this universe is or how many stars there are. And we still don't know. The more gadgets we make to peer deeper into space, the more galaxies we find. And I think the last time they did that, they realized their model on the universe is kind of got an issue, because these galaxies that we're seeing way out at the end of the universe that they can see are as mature as the ones they are here, so closer to us. And they're supposed to be, just because of the speed of light and everything, they're supposed to be just as, you know, just baby kind of galaxies, just barely forming and things like that. So I don't know, you know. It's like the more we look at science, the more we kind of have to readjust our thinking. Things like how life came to be. We keep getting further and further away from understanding that from a scientific perspective. The more they research, the more complicated they see that the initial formation of life was. And then the more they realize that it's statistically impossible that it happened the way that they think it did, so they have to come up with a new theory. You can rent those little, those are picnic tables with screened in, you know, buildings over top of the picnic table so that the bugs don't get you when you're eating at night. The one thing I've noticed from all the science that I've looked into, I'm not a scientist, I'm an engineer, but is that none of it has contradicted. The more we know, the more it doesn't contradict. You know, the things that I learned as a child. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. Now the Big Bang basically says the same thing. They say they don't know where the original matter came to that created the Big Bang. But because there's a Big Bang, it all had to come from what they say, not my words, from nothing. All matter came from nothing. And to me that doesn't sound very scientific, but that's what they stand behind because they have no explanation and they just think by saying it, it makes it so people won't question them. Like, I don't care what people think, I'm retired. I'll question it all day long. It sounds ridiculous to me. But anyway, enough of that. I just am appreciating it.